All right. I hope you're up for a challenging math day. I'm going to stretch your brain right before break. Get you strong. All right. ABC challenge questions. I asked you during the document that you received to circle any of the questions that you got wrong. Um, Once again, it's very important that you understand that the answer is not the important thing. The important part of this is knowing how to get to the answer. So if you know, I know you now know the answer because you looked at the answer key. Some of you even are using calculators and things. Remember, that's not what's important. It's not important that you're getting the right answer. It's important that you know how to get the right answer. And this is where you're going to learn how to get the right answer if you didn't get the right answer. Let's start with A. Okay, let's start with A. We have 2,982 and we're dividing that by 1 and 2/10. This is called your divisor. It's what you're counting by. You can't count by a number that has a decimal in it, okay? But there's something that we can do. There's a trick, okay? What we can do is on the outside, we can move the decimal over once. Your brain does not have to understand this part, but what you're doing is multiplying it by 10. As long as you do the exact same thing on the inside, then this will stay the same. So basically what you need to know is we're turning this into a new problem. Instead of it being 1.2, we're going to have 12. But instead of having 2,982, we're going to have to move this decimal over once too. It's a whole number, so there's an invisible decimal at the end of it. And when you move it over, you're basically just adding a zero. A lot of you guys know, yeah, whenever you multiply by 10, you add a zero. Well, yes, if it's a whole number. So 2, 9, 8, 2, 0. Whew, that's a big number, right? Now we're in business. How many 12s go into 29? Well, 12, 24, 36 would be too much. So I'm going to put a 2. 2 would be 24. There's 5 left over. After you pull out your group, tell me what's left over. 5's left over. Bring down the 8. If I take out 5 groups of 12, it's 60, because I remember that 5 times 12 is 60. That's just too much. So if 5 is just too much, it must be 4. And somewhere on your paper, figure out what 12 times 4 is. Oh, 12 times 4 is 48, so that means I have 10 more left over. Bring down the next digit. Ooh, how many 12s go into 102? This one's a little harder. 12 times 10 is 120. So 12 times 9 is 12 less than that, which would be 108. So it must be 8. I'm going to put an 8. Now I'm going to see if 12 times 8 is good. So over here, I want to see what 12 times 8 is. 8 times 2 is 16. 8, 9, 96. Oh yeah, that was good. How do I know? Because there's less than 12 left over. If I had more than 12, then I could have pulled out another group. So now I have to borrow, right? The 10, I'm going to turn into a 9, and then I'm going to borrow. 12 minus 6 is 6. 9 minus 9 is nothing. There's 6 left over. Bring down the 0, and what did I tell you 12 times 5 was? I told you it was 60. Perfect. I got my answer. I know that was not the friendliest question, but it is a math question that fifth graders should know if they mastered all their material. So if you do not know that, or if you struggled with it, that's an area that you want to focus on. Now we have the old conversion. We have meters to millimeters. So remember, you got to remember this idea of King Henry died, and then you put like a little circle for base, and you'll know more about that today by drinking chocolate milk. Well, what are we measuring? We're measuring meters. So the base is M. That means everything gets an M. And this is the weird M. I believe it's DAM is the symbol for decameter. Okay, now we're going from meters to millimeters. So we're going from here to here. We're going to move right. And how many are we going to move right? 1, 2, 3. We're moving right 3. Okay, so now I'm going to write down 23.5. And I'm going to follow my directions. My directions say move right 3, so I'm going to move right once, twice, 3 times. And to say that you're paying attention, the character that we're focusing on is this guy right here, Daddy Pig. Okay, so Daddy Pig in your math question today, say, which Peppa Pig character was focused on? You're going to say, Daddy Pig, Mr. Oh, what's up? All right, so because we moved the decimal over 3 times, we turn our answer into 23500. So the answer there is 23,500 millimeters. Okay. And I'll show you again. You put your 23.5, you follow your directions of right 3, right 1, 2, 3. Whoa, the decimal moves way over here. It turns our number into 23,500. Let's try the next one. 23,000. We're at kilometers. We are at kilometers. So kilometers is right here, and we're moving to meters. Meters is over here. We're once again going to go right. 1, 2, 3. Right 3. Same directions. So where is the decimal? That's not a decimal. That's a comma. The decimal's here because it's a whole number, and we're going to move it right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Holy smokes, it turns into a ginormous number. So now we know that 23,000 kilometers is 23 million meters. Woo. Now, let's go into our algebra question. We have 13 minus 2 times 4 divided by 3. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The first thing we're doing is parentheses. I have 4 and we're splitting 3. This is one of those weird ones. Remember, there's 3 different ways you can divide. Put it in the house, slice, keep, change, flip. We're not using keep, change, flip because it's not a fraction. But we can put it in a house. 4 is the first number goes in the house. The second number goes on the outside. How many 3's go into 4? 1. What's left over? 1. So it's 1 remainder 1. Well, we don't do remainders in 5th grade. 1. There's 1 left over, but we need 3 to make a whole. Okay, so your answer there is 1 1/3. If you're like, Mr. Stahl, I did not put that in the house. I used the slice method. It equals 4/3, and 4/3 is improper. There's 3/3 in it, which is 1 whole, and there's still 1 left over. Either way, you get the same answer. Now you want to rewrite it with that answer. 13 minus 2 times 1 1/3. A lot of you guys want to jump right to subtraction, but you always multiply and divide before you add or subtract. So we have 2 over 1 times, what is this? 4/3. Remember, we have to multiply by turning it numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. Now we have that improper fraction. How many 3/3 are in 8/3? 3/3, 6/3, 2, and then 6/3 means there's still 7 and 8 left, so there's still 2/3 left. And remember, any one of these steps confuses you, please ask me during our live session and I will slow it down and explain it to you. So now we have to continue with 13, and we have our last portion of the problem. We have 13 and we're losing 2 2/3. So isn't it crazy how we start with this problem and we go through like 3 different units that we've learned this year? This is why I love this time of the year. You're using everything that you have now that you've learned. So The first thing is don't put 2/3 down because you're taking 2/3 from nothing. You cannot do that. So we have to say, hey, there's 13 holes. We are going to steal one of your holes. And we need thirds, right? So one hole is worth 3/3. Well, Mr. Stahl, you changed the problem. No, I didn't. I still have 13 holes on top. I just have 12 holes and 3/3. 3/3 minus 2/3 is 1/3. And 12 minus 2 is 10. Woo! If you got that answer, good for you. There's so many different steps to that problem that it's very, very easy to make one tiny little mistake, and that throws off your entire answer, right? So if this is your question, this is your answer, even if you're a great math student, there's a really good chance that you didn't get that answer. So don't look at it as a fail. Focus on that step and strengthen it. Okay. All right. Last but not least, let's jump into the challenge question. The challenge question, once again, it's a challenge question, but it's a part of the 5th grade curriculum. We want to cut it into 3 pieces. The way I did it is actually I cut it down like this, but let's cut it like this just to change it up. Okay, so this one up here staring at us, it's like, yo, 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 I'm 3 by 6. Okay, so the area, that one's 18. This one's not staring at us. Let's see, we can figure this out though. Right here is 9. All right, you know what we are getting though? Let's get what we know. We know the bottom one. How do we know the bottom one? Well, this side is equal to this side. So this side's 3. If the whole thing is 9, this must be 6. See how I did that? Because 3 plus 6 is 9. The whole thing's 9. So 6 times 16. 6 times 16. I'm going to write that down on my piece of paper. 16 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 6, 7, 8, 9. 96. So down here's 96. Where's my mouse? Here it is. 96. I'm going to circle it so I don't get confused with that 6 that I made. Now we got to find this bad boy right here. Well, if this is 6, that means this is 6. Huh? Right? Because in a rectangle, this side's equal to this side. So that means we just need this piece, which this piece plus this piece equals 12. So that means this is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Woo! That was a tricky one, wasn't it? So now all I have to do is add boom, boom, and boom, and I get my area. So in addition, the order does not matter. So I just have to add all those together. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. 9 plus 1 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 3. Together it's 13. There's my answer. All right. Now we are going to jump into today's lesson. Woo! I am not doing too hot on time. That's okay. What is time anyways? All right, let me set this one up for you guys. Remember yesterday what we learned about? We learned about King Henry, right? We learned about King Henry. And what else did we learn? Well, we learned about his, his chocolate milk issue. Poor guy. Anyways, thank you, King Henry, for helping us with mathematics. Yes, you loved your chocolate milk and you loved it too much, but you would be happy to know today, Mr. King of Henry, we are learning about converting the metric system. But today we're learning about capacity. We're learning about converting between liquid amounts, right? So what's beautiful about this, we still use King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Let me show you like this so you guys don't get confused, because the chart could be misleading. So, oh man, Mr. Stahl, you want us to know about capacity. Okay, oh, that means we're converting between liters. Yeah, watch. King Henry died, base is blank, drinking chocolate milk. Today we're learning about converting with the metric system. Do you know what we use as our base? Liters. A liter, and you guys should know liters because you love pop, right? Even though it's not healthy. Or Gatorade or something a little healthier. But you buy it like oh mom, can I please get a 2-liter Mountain Dew with my Little Caesars? Liters. You guys know what a liter looks like, right? Half of a 2-liter. Anyways, so you just slap an L on everything. I think it's DAL. I don't know. Well, you'll never really use that. You will slap an L on everything. So it's the same idea. 1 liter makes 10 of these. This makes 10 of these. This makes 10 of these. In other words, it takes 10 of these to make 1 of these, 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 10 of these to make 1 of these. So we're going to use the exact same system to convert. So basically, it's the same thing we learned yesterday. Let me just show you what it looks like. This tiny little eyedropper, doop, 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 that's a milliliter, okay? You really won't convert with these, but we need to have them there so we can play our decimal game. Well, what's a liter look like? Like I said earlier, not like a bigger bottle of pop is a liter. You can go to the gas station right now, don't, but you could, and they have this size. That is a liter. And then up here is the other one that we use a lot of, and that's a kiloliter. A kiloliter, that's like filling up your entire hot tub. That's a kiloliter, okay? So just so you guys know, let me do one example for you. Let me pretend that we are going to convert 0.35 milliliters, which is teeny tiny, and we're going to figure out how many liters that is. Basically, what that means is half of one of these filled equals how much of this? Well, your brain should tell you this is going to be a teeny tiny answer, because if it's not even one of these, it's going to be way, way, way smaller for this, right? So same idea. Start with milliliters, go 2 liters, and give yourself directions. We're starting here. We're moving left, 1, 2, 3. Do the same thing to your decimal. Take it here and move left, 1. All right, so let me give you a little secret. Get the zeros ready, okay? We know we're moving left. Let me start over. This is where we started, right? Because it's 0.35, and we're moving left, 1, 2, 3. That is so small, it's ridiculous. Okay, so you guys are going to practice right now. You are going to get out a piece of paper. You're going to label it 1 through 10, and you are going to start with your cheat sheet. Your cheat sheet should say, King Henry died by, and your by is going to turn into an L, drinking chocolate milk. I want you to try your best to complete 1 through 10. We are at a stage right now where I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe 4 people or 5 people in my class have the ability to do this fine. And what we're going to do is together during the live session, we're going to go over your answers. So you have until 10:30. Please take your time on this, okay? If you don't finish, that's okay. Take your time, but most importantly, come to the live session with your brain ready to learn. I will see you at 10:30. Oh yeah, you're going to have to pause this because it's going to go bye-bye. See you at 10:30.